Welcome to Module 3 of Python programming. Today we are going to see about classes and object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is basically about how we relate the real-world entities to the objects, and more of object-oriented concepts such as hiding, inheritance, etc. used in our programming. It makes our visualization easier because it is close to the real-world scenarios. Object-oriented programming is all about creating objects. Object is nothing but a group of interrelated variables and functions. These variables are often referred to as properties of the object, and functions are referred to as the behavior of these objects. These objects provide a better and clear structure for us to understand what is this programming. So object we can actually call it as a is related to actually your real world entities such as your book, pencil, house and all. So these object oriented concepts, or we as we call it the OOPS concept, focuses on writing the reusable code. It's a widespread technique used to solve the problems related to creating the objects. So in case you're able to see the screen, it is like object oriented concepts are classified into class, object, encapsulation, abstraction and methods. These are the major Python's object oriented concepts, and along with this we would also be studying inheritance. We will also be studying polymorphism and other object-oriented programming concepts. See, first we would start with a class. What is a class? A class is nothing but a blueprint. Like how we all know, a class is a collection of objects, or it's a blueprint of the objects defining the common attributes and behavior. So we can also define the class as a special data type which defines how to build a certain kind of an object. The class also stores some data items that are shared by all the instances of the class. Like the example syntax for creating a class is something like class, and then you give the name of the class, and inside that you have all these objects and all these statements. And when you want to create an instance of this class using the instance of that this class only, you will be able to access the methods or variables of that class. So instance or nothing but the objects that are created using the given syntax to create a class. We will now see what is an object. Object is an entity that has a state and behavior. So it is also like a real world object, and it's an instance of your class. So in Python, everything is an object. Almost everything has attributes and methods. So when we define a class, it needs to create an object to allocate the memory. So syntax for it goes something like this. We write the name of the object equals to name. So it uses as the print of object. In this given example, you can see that this class which we have defined, the name of the class is car, and in that we have using a method called define init, where you will have another method self, and which you will contain the model name and year of that particular car. So using this self, we give, it's like a constructor. We give the name of the model, we give the year, and using a print statement, we would be displaying it. Afterwards, after you create this class, you would create an object for this class. You would say the name of the object is C1, and you would say car, and you just pass the values of the variables declared in the class. Here I am passing Toyota and 2015, and then I am calling the method display. So my output would be Toyota and 2015, whatever values I passed. So let me tell you, this is similar to constructors where we are defining the values. constructor concept. So to go into detail about the self method must have first extra parameter. So all the class methods must have an extra parameter in the method definition, and we do not give a value for this, and such a method is called a self method. So it is similar to this pointers in C++ and this pointer in Java. So when we call a method of this object, it is automatically converted to Python class method, and that is this special self method. Then you have the init method. Init method is also similar to constructors in C++ and Java. It is run as soon as the object of the class is instantiated. The method is useful to do any initialization you want to do with your object. Method. This method is generally method, or what do you call it, procedure or function, which you call it in other programs. In Python we call it a method, and it is not unique for class instances. It is a method associated with the object. Any object type in Python can have these methods. The methods defined inside a class other than the constructor method are known as your instance methods. For example of your instance methods, you can take the description method, the max speed method and all. So suppose you are talking about the description method, this method is returning a string with the description of the car and its mileage. Max speed means it is an additional parameter, and it returns a string along with the displaying of the car name and its speed. If you can see in this example, I created a class called car, and I have a variable, I have given it a value also Satan. And then using these functions which we have just explained, define in itself, I am having these variables name and mileage. Using the self method, I give them some values, and using the description method, I return. I use a print statement and try to return whatever I am getting the values using the object. So in this object 2, I create an object called object 2, and I call the class and I provide these values. What values am I providing? I am providing Honda City for the name of the car and 24.1 as the mileage. So when I print this description and I when print the max speed, that is the output I would be getting. Then you have another concept called encapsulation in object oriented programming. Encapsulation is a very essential object. It is used to restrict access to methods and variables, and code and data are wrapped together. So what are you doing? You are binding. You are binding the code and the data that is accessed by the code into one single packet, and that is encapsulating the variables and methods together. That is the purpose of a class. So what do we do here? We declare the methods or the attributes protected by a single underscore, such as self underscore name or def underscore method, like how we used in the previous examples we have seen. So all these things are basically, all these methods are protected, public private protected, right? So it is under the access specifier protected. Then if you look at the syntax, it is separated by an underscore def underscore init underscore self, and then you give the name of the self using the self method. If you can see this example, whatever I have explained, you would understand. Def underscore init, and then I have in my class car, I am using this init method, and I am constructing the names of name and mileage, and then using this self, I am trying to print a statement. So when in the fifth line, in the next line, when I create an object like this, and I give some values for this object, say BMW 7 series and its mileage 39.53. Of course, BMW's mileage is not 39.53, but since I give some values, we'd be able to print them. Then comes abstraction. What do you understand by abstraction? Abstraction is basically hiding certain internal details and show only the required functionalities. So abstracting something means to give the names to things so that the name captures the core of the function and all such stuff. So any class will have at least one abstract function is called an abstract class. In order to create this abstract class, we need to import the abstract class from the abstract module, and the syntax of an abstract class is shown something like this in the slide. You call a class abstract class and then the body of the class. ABC stands for abstract base class. So if the same thing, if you can see in this example, the same class we are using, and it is an abstract base class, and we have the init method, we have the self, and we have the description, or everything seen in the previous examples. Along with the description, we are including the price also. So what do I do when I create an object? I just give the name, and then the description would come, what is called, and the price is printed. So finally, I would end this discussion on object-oriented programming and classes. Actually, this introduction on object-oriented and programming and classes using this differences between object-oriented programming versus procedural-oriented programming languages. So in procedural-oriented programming languages, you must have studied C, Fortran, and such things, Pascal and all. Object oriented, you must have studied about Java, C++ and all. So you know what that the it object oriented programming is a problem solving approach using these classes and methods and with the help of objects. Whereas procedural oriented programming uses a list of instructions to do the computation. Okay, it makes the development and maintenance easier, and procedural, it is not that easy to maintain. Object oriented programming stimulates the real world entities, whereas procedural oriented programming does not stimulate. It provides data handling, so it is more secure than procedural languages, whereas procedural programming language does not support data binding nor data handling. Example of object oriented programming languages is C++, Java, Python, and so on, whereas procedural is only C, Fortran, Pascal. Thank you.